Hello, my Patreons. I wonder how you are all doing. South Africa is now being gripped by winter, which means, yes, temperatures are plummeting down to a mild 18, and we're all suffering for it. That aside, the GM video this week is on plot twists and how to use them to work through them on the fly, and that was voted for by you fellows. So I have to thank you for putting in your votes, and if you don't know where that is, you head on over to www.greatgm.com and you will find the votes that are there based on the suggestions that have come through. You can add your own suggestions, of course, as well, and then you vote for the topics that you feel you would like me to answer. And to do videos on. So that's where good plot twists on the fly come in. Now, the good plot twists deal with the different types of plot twists and how to use your master plot to link them together. But what wasn't covered in the video and what we're going to cover in this video, so I'm very tongue-tied today, I have no idea why. Anyway, what we're going to look at now is the combination thereof. So you should never in one adventure have more than 2 twists. If you're doing an epic spanning story, you're going to have lots of twists. However, in a single adventure, you shouldn't have more than 1 or 2 twists. And I've got a little note here, which I'm going to have to read. Twists and turns and the devil of overcomplication. So every time you do a plot twist, you complicate your plot, because instead of having a nice linear progression that the players can follow, you now have a linear progression, plot twist, and it's going up this way. Plot twist, and now it's going that way. The players will have difficulty keeping up. So 2 plot twists at most per adventure. If you want to add in more, that's fine, but you're going to find that your players eventually go, really? So we don't know what's going on, and now we don't know what we don't know what was going on, and now we don't know that we don't know that we don't know what's going on? You get my point. So 2 plot twists per adventure if you really want to have a lot of plot twists. Otherwise, just go with 1. Now, having said that, plot twists work quite well as pairs, and there's certain types of pairs that work together. Before we get into those pairs, though, we need to handle the idea of the plot twist. If you're just going to drop a plot twist in, Luke, I am your father, without any kind of hint or indication or any kind of build-up towards it, it may work. If you want a huge impact to your plot twist, however, you hinted it before. Now, I'm going to use the Star Wars A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Those 3 movies from the 70s and 80s, because they use the plot twist technique beautifully. Now, it's 3 separate adventures, so they have, well, it's actually more than 3 separate adventures, but they have a whole bunch of little plot twists. One of the big ones, of course, however, and I'm not going to say spoiler alert, because if you haven't watched these yet, you're probably not likely to watch them moving forward. But one of the big plot twists is that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. Now, in the first movie, there was very little hint that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father. We did, however, learn that Luke Skywalker was not the child of Owen and Beru Lars. That we know. So he has this mysterious family who's missing somewhere out in nowhere. We know that Obi-Wan Kenobi has some kind of link to Darth Vader, but not much. The whole movie progresses, we meet Princess Leia, who's from Organa, and we also, we don't discover that she's also adopted. Not yet, anyway. By the time we get to Empire Strikes Back, however, suddenly Yoda enters and they start talking about Darth Vader as Anakin Skywalker. Well, at least not yet, but they start saying that he murdered Anakin Skywalker, which brings some kind of hint that there's a link between Luke and Vader, because Luke Skywalker, obviously Anakin Skywalker murdered by Darth Vader, gives us a tenuous link, but not the actual link. It's not a plot twist that, oh, Darth Vader killed your father. It's, yeah, all right, well, I guess I've got some motivation to face Darth Vader. Darth Vader reveals that he's his father, however, and that is a twist, because, well, no one saw that coming. No one believes him until, of course, the 3rd movie, when we are then told, well, actually, yes, from a certain point of view, Darth Vader did betray and murder Anakin Skywalker. He's the same one. So Obi-Wan Kenobi clearly believes in schizophrenia. that aside, we then, because we need another plot twist, we have all the story about there's, he's our only hope, and Yoda mysteriously says, no, another there is, and then dies. So suddenly we're going, wait, there's another new hope, another hope on the horizon, and of course we discover that that's Princess Leia, Luke's sister. And that is another major plot twist. As a matter of fact, that's the only major plot twist of Return of the Jedi, is the revelation that Leia is also Luke's sister and, of course, Darth Vader's daughter. Now, all of that was a major setup for those two moments, but those two moments, well, first certainly the I am your father moment, is immortalized in human history for all time as being one of the greatest twists ever. Nobody saw it coming. Again, a very long point to say that you need to seed these things. But how can you seed them if you're doing them on the fly? Well, it's about throwing out as many seeds as you can, remembering which seeds you've thrown out, and then working how to link that seed to your plot twist using one of the different types of plot twists that I have used in the GM video. It's a bit complicated, but once you get the idea of plot twists, you can start to work in twists and turns and seed them earlier on and earlier on. And then how to use seeds that you have seeded earlier on to link into your plot twist now. It will slowly all coalesce into a singular idea that by throwing in lots of stuff early on, keeping track of the stuff that you've thrown in, allowing you to then come up with stuff on the fly that links to the main story that you've got going on in the back of your head. It's lots of juggling, but that's why we do it. Right, back to the main point. So, twists work in pairs. At least I think they work in pairs. You can always double twist, so a double link or a double reveal or a double hindrance or a double help if you really want to. And sometimes they work. Star Wars, it was a double link. I'm your father, she's your sister, we're all one big happy family. That's it. There weren't very many other plot twists out there from a specific plot twist perspective. However, you can link them together. So, a sudden reveal and a sudden discovery work quite well together. All of this is a waste of time. However, you have discovered this link. So you firstly do maybe a sudden reveal that the creature that they're following is not what they thought it was. And then later on, you continue the adventure, and then your second twist is a sudden discovery that the creature is not actually a creature at all, but it is a projection of one of the characters' minds, and this whole thing is some kind of clown-induced psychotropic delusion that everyone is suffering from. So, a false beginning and then a false resolution. You can do a surprise link and discovery. So, the surprise discovery is Darth Vader killed Anakin Skywalker. Sudden link, Darth Vader is actually your father. It's very, very simple. So those are a double twist combo that work quite well. Of course, the unknown help and the unknown hindrance, usually you would play the unknown hindrance first. Cease and desist, you cannot go any further. Then, later on, once the PCs have butted their heads and tried to figure things out, a mysterious stranger arrives who hands them a sealed envelope. I can't reveal my actual name, but you need this. However you want to play it. That's one of the classic kind of combos, hindrance and then help. If you're punishing the players with a hindrance, you need to give them some help later on. And then, of course, a surprise link in a dark pact. Well, there's no more greater surprise than I am your father, and then he turns and sacrifices himself to save Luke by destroying the Emperor and that kind of thing. This has been a very heavy Star Wars kind of reference, but it's a very obvious link, and most people have watched Star Wars or know of Star Wars. I could use other shows that have got these kind of very obvious twists and the basis of those, but I chose Star Wars. It's much more fun and more obvious too. If you watch Star Wars 7, you'll see there's so many links and hints and things that, Han Solo and Princess Leia actually gave birth to that glorified Pantene Maybelline advert that it becomes silly when you watch it a second or third time because it's so blatant. And of course, the first time it's so obscure, you don't actually know what's going on. So there you go. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is twists really make stories work well and have a surprise that people will talk about for a long time. They take a bit of work, you need to seed them up front, or at least you need to use seeds that you've seeded up front for later on, and you need to know where they fit into your grand master plot. But ultimately, I think they are truly the mark of a great GM, as if you can have a plot twist that you've thrown in mid-game simply to keep the story moving forward and to keep it interesting for both yourself and the players. Until next time, I wish you happy gaming.